In this tutorial, we're going to take a look at the Wave Traveler. We're not really going to cover anything new, but we are going to take a look at some ways we can use the Wave Traveler other than creating simple scratch effects, which is usually what it's used for. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and take a look over the Wave Traveler and get familiar with the settings. But in the first example, I want to take a look at using the Wave Traveler in conjunction with the sampler, and what we're going to do basically is just combine the two to try to get kind of a new sound. What we'll do, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and put that up on 160, and also let's go ahead and insert the Wave Traveler. Load the same sample into the Wave Traveler. So what I want to do now is try to play around with the Wave Traveler a little bit and see if we can't get something that would work in conjunction with the sample. On. Get that up. Take this, bring this down here. Let's go ahead and put this in here. Put it on cut itself. So, I mean, that's nothing fancy, but just to give you an idea of what you can do when you take something and put it on the Wave Traveler and then also put it on the sampler, and then you combine the two. And because you're using the same sample in both, it's going to combine a little bit better. It'll mesh a little bit better as far as the sound is concerned. You know, and something else we could do with that in the Wave Traveler here, we could just go in and make sure that's on line. Just to add little accents here. So again, nothing fancy, just to show you how using the Wave Traveler we can combine that with the sampler and get some new sounds out of it without having to use too many of our resources. The next example I want to take a look at, go ahead and exit out of here. I'll go ahead and reload the Wave Traveler. The next example I want to take a look at is going to involve using a single sample to create a rhythm. Instead of having to use multiple samples, we'll just use like a clap. Let's see, where do I have? Gotta look for drum samples. I have too many samples all over the place. This time I'm gonna play around with this a little bit and see if I can't get what I'm looking for. I'm gonna set the speed and end positions different. Let's see. So you see right there, just a little adjustment like that will give us basically what amounts to 2 drum hits from the same sample, and also with a cool little slide in between, so that's a bonus, right? What we can do is go to the next key, and what we can do now is play around with this one as well, using the same method. And what we can do is even put this original sample back in. So again, nothing fancy, just something to play around with and see what you can get out of it. You'll have to go in there and experiment with different settings and different speeds and everything in the Wave Traveler. Now this last example I want to take a look at isn't really going to be anything the Wave Traveler per se. It's going to be a feature that's in the Wave Traveler that's often overlooked for like drum somewhere here. So what we have here is just a sample, drum sample. But what we can do down here at the bottom, you have this, basically this area that functions as a gapper or a gate. What you can do when you left click and drag, it blanks out space, and when you right click and drag, it adds space in there. And basically what this is going to do is stop the sample from playing. So we can play around with it by doing stuff like this. Just going in here and taking out some of this. You can see that would be kind of cool to use to chop up beats and stuff like that. And then of course you still have the functionality of the Wave Traveler in here as well to experiment with. But you know, the Wave Traveler is one of those tools where you really just have to sit down and take some time and move things around, play around with different settings and different speeds and things like that to see what you want to get out of it. But again, the cool thing is you have all these keys down here and even more octaves that you can play around with. So you have plenty of keys available to you, to come up with different things. And that way, again, you can just put them all down right here instead of having to load different instances. So I hope that these techniques will help you become more creative and expand your projects. And I want to thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time.